worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Welcome to our family chapel during Corona days. What is a corona? It's a crown. And while it can mean many things, and in this day it may not mean the most pleasant of things, I'm choosing to take on the mantle, the crown, and give it a fun spin. In these days that we're experiencing, sort of a change, because of this virus, this coronavirus, this germ that has a funny shape that reminds us of a crown, we're having some different times, some special times. We get to spend more time with our family than we normally would. But these days are different, and they are what we make of them. And that reminds me of our invocation. Do you guys remember it? We say it every Sunday in chapel, and you can say it with me anytime you want now. It starts like this. See if you remember it. This is indeed a day that God has made. Let us then rejoice in it and be glad, and let us count our many blessings. Let us be grateful for the capacity to feel and to understand. Let us be grateful for the incredible gift of life. And let us be especially grateful for the ties of love that bind us together, giving dignity, meaning, worth, and joy to all of our days. Now join me in saying our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. I have a story for you today called Grandpa Bunny. It's about the Easter Bunny, but he's more than that. He's more about change. Think about that as I tell you this story. Think about the way things change. This is a Walt Disney story, a little golden book. Grandpa Bunny. Here we go. Deep in the woods where the briar bushes grow lies Bunnyville, a busy little bunny rabbit town. And in the very center of that busy little town stands a cottage. A neat twig cottage with a neat brown roof, which is known to all as the very home of Great-Grandpa Bunny Bunny. Great-Grandpa Bunny Bunny, as everybody knows, was the ancestral founder of the town, which is a very fine thing to be. He liked to tell the young bunnies who always gathered around how he and Mrs. Bunny Bunny, when they were very young, had found that very briar patch and built themselves that very same little twig house. It was a happy life they lived there, deep in the woods, bringing up their bunny family in that little house of twigs. And of course, Daddy Bunny Bunny, as he was called then, was busy at his job decorating Easter eggs. And as the children grew up, they helped paint Easter eggs, and as soon as they were all grown up with families of their own, they built a ring of houses all around their parents' home. And by, they had a town there, and they called it Bunnyville. By that time, Grandpa Bunny had lots of help painting Easter eggs, so much that he began to look for other jobs to do. He taught some of the young folks to paint flowers in the woods. They tried out new shades of green on mosses and ferns. They made those woods so beautiful that everyone who went walking there marveled at the colors. The soil must be especially rich, they said, or the rainfall especially wet. And the bunnies would hear them and silently laugh, for they knew that it was all their great-grandfather Bunny's doing. Years went by. Now there were even more families in Bunnyville, and Grandpa Bunny had come to be Great-Grandpa Bunny, for that is how things go. He still supervised all the Easter egg painting and the work on the flowers every spring, but he had so much help that between times he looked around for other jobs to do. He taught some of the bunnies to paint the autumn leaves, purple for the gum trees, yellow for the elms, patterns in scarlet for the sugar maple trees. Through the woods they scampered with their brushes and their pails. And everyone who went walking there would say, "Never has there been such color in these woods. The nights must have been especially frosty hereabouts." And the bunnies would hear them and silently laugh, for they knew that it was all their great-grandpa Bunny's plan. And so it went as the seasons rolled around. There were constantly more bunnies in that busy Bunnyville, and Great-Grandpa Bunny was busy finding jobs for them all to do. He taught them in the winter to paint shadows on the snow and pictures in frost on wintry window panes, and to polish up the diamond lights on glittering icicles. And between times he told stories to each new crop of bunny young. Around the cozy fire in his neat little twig home, the bunny children loved him and his funny bunny tales, and they loved the new and different things he found for them to do. But at last it did seem as if he'd thought of everything. He had crews of bunnies trained to paint the first tiny buds of spring, and he had teams who waited beside cocoons to touch up the wings of new butterflies. Some specialized in beetles, some in creeping, crawling things. They had painted up that whole wood till it sparkled and it gleamed. And now the bunnies wondered, what would he think of next? Well, Great-Grandpa began to stay home a lot more, and he thought, and he thought, and thought, and at last he told a secret to that season's bunny boys and girls. "Children," Great-Grandpa Bunny said, "I'm going to go away, and I'll tell you what my next job will be, if you promise not to say." So the bunny children promised, and Great-Grandpa Bunny went away. And the older bunnies missed him, and they often looked sad. But the bunny children only smiled and looked extremely wise, for they knew a secret, and they had promised not to tell. Then one day, a windy storm rained down on Bunnyville, and everyone scampered speedily home and stayed cozy and dry indoors. And after a while, the rain slowed to single dripping drops. Then every front door opened, and out the bunny children ran. "Oh, it's true!" the bunnies shouted, and they did a bunny dance. "Great-Grandpa Bunny's been at work again. Come see what he has done." And everyone walked out that day and looked up in pleased surprise. "Have you ever," they cried, "simply ever seen a sunset so gorgeously bright?" The little bunnies heard them, and they quietly chuckled, for they knew it was all Great-Grandpa Bunny's plan. My prayer for you today is to make the most of every day, knowing that each one offers unique opportunities to share your love and your gifts, and knowing that those same opportunities may not be here tomorrow, but new ones will be. That's the beauty of a world that is always changing. So let us be grateful.
Let us be grateful for the opportunities that are always being presented to us to share our love and our gifts.
There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my soul, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my soul. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my mind, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my mind. There's a river flowing in my heart. There's a river flowing in my heart, and it's telling me that I'm somebody. There's a river flowing in my heart.
Go and be blessed and be a blessing.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of all surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.